I remember it was early 2022 and I was at a friend's birthday party here in Bali. She was having a house party with a lot of people that I knew, friends and friends of friends. And even though it was a beautiful day and my life, quote unquote, was perfect, I was just feeling social anxiety. I wasn't feeling well and I didn't want to be there. I remember I didn't feel like I was looking good. I had massive bags under my eyes. My beard was scruffy. I was struggling. Back then, my marketing agency was doing really, really well. I remember that was the first time that I was able to achieve something meaningful in my eyes with my agency. I had people reaching out to me constantly because they want to work with me. I didn't have to chase clients anymore. I had a good reputation and I was working a lot. But at the same time, I reached the success that I was looking for in my agency. I also reached a burnout where I just didn't enjoy life for the first time ever. And I had two loud voices in my head. You're doing great. You finally got there. Keep going. Keep pushing. It gets better. And another loud voice saying, I feel like shit. And I don't know the way out of this. So at this party, I met a friend who I knew him before. We had brief conversations. And he's a very successful investor. He also burned himself out in his career, and now he was able to find more balance and still has millions and millions in his bank account. And as we're talking about, life, the meaning of life and purpose, having a really deep conversation, one-on-one, around so many people, he felt called to share something with me, which, by the way, he said he never talks about these things, but he really felt called to do. And he brought up about a plant medicine he did, which is called Bufo. 5-MEO DMT, which is the highest form of DMT. And as some say, that's the father of all psychedelics and plant medicine. And he said he doesn't want to give me too much information because he doesn't want to spoil my experience if I ever decided to do it. But he said his life changed since he did. And that was a short time ago since our interaction. And the moment that he shared that with me, I totally knew why I was in that party. It was almost, that life is always happening for us. And at that moment, I knew exactly why we were having that conversation. And that was something that I needed to experience. And despite me feeling successful, I was also feeling depressed. And even though I was holding on to the things that I have created to that point with my business and my marketing agency, I was to the stage that I didn't even care anymore. I needed a change in my life, and I didn't know what direction it would be, but I could not afford to live miserably. I wasn't happy. I know exactly the things that were making me unhappy. I believed that in order to be successful, I had to do things I didn't like doing. In order to be a man of value, I need to push through the challenges and the struggles, and I had this mentality that the struggles make me a better man. The more pain I can endure, the more successful I will be. And there is some truth to that, but that wasn't working for me any longer. It took me where I wanted to be, but that wasn't the way I wanted to continue going in my life. But I didn't know any other way, because the other ways that I tried to find success before didn't quite work, because I was always looking for the easy way. And that wasn't working really well for me. So I decided to go on the other extreme of the spectrum. Push, go hard, sacrifices. And that gave me some level of success financially and in business, but it wasn't making me happy. So now it was time for me to find balance. So he gave me the number of the shaman who gave him the plant medicine. And funny enough, that is a guy who I worked with in the past, and I knew him. So I reached out to him and I just booked a session. He sent me some information about the plant medicine and how the journey goes, but I was in full openness of whatever that will be. Because I had a full body yes. I just knew that I had to do it, and I trust. Now here's how everything went. When I got to his house, we had a long conversation before taking the medicine. And it was pretty funny because it was almost a combative state. He was trying to question my points of view in life, And I was holding on to them so much as I thought they were the truth. And he was trying to put me in a different perspective, in a more non-dual perspective. And I had some judgments around non-duality. I think that there's good and there's bad, there's right and there's wrong. And hey, it may be, but he was trying to give me a different perspective and I wasn't open to it. And after a lot of conversation, he was like, well, let's do the medicine. So how it works is the first dose for me was the handshake. So it's a vape and you smoke that. So the first time is the handshake, so you get introduced to the medicine. And you have your journey, which can last about 5 minutes. And after that, he will sit with you and help you to integrate the journey. You talk about it and go through everything that happened. Then he asks you, do you want another dose? And the doses keep increasing. Now, the moment I had that first dose, the handshake, little did I know that my life was about to change forever. I've exploded into consciousness. I could feel so much pain in my shoulders, in my body. It was so much heaviness that I created for myself, completely being released out of me. And after that, I did another 4 doses, which everything lasted for about 4 to 5 hours. Without going into details of every journey that I went through and every dose, all I can say is that my life had changed forever. Not because I became someone different, but I was able to let go of everything that wasn't me. I was able to let go of all the systems and all the controls and all the things that were implanted into my mind by someone or by myself. I was able to connect with who I truly, truly am. How did I do that? I was able to raise my consciousness to a state that I've never even knew that was possible to. And when we raise our consciousness to those levels, everything that is not the truth dissolves. And that was my journey. It felt like my life completely changed. And I felt like that my business would be still there. I was excited about helping people even more. And I was like, well, I was worried about losing my business, but I'm actually even more excited about my business. Now, what happened is after that, for months, I didn't have a single person request my services as a marketing agency. And I didn't care. I was happy. And what it came to me is that it was time for me to help people even more. And instead of working a marketing agency, doing for you services for people who are hugely successful and they just need someone to, build their funnels, set up stuff for them on the back end so they can be successful, I decided to really step into my business academy and help wellness coaches to start their business. I became more of a teacher, a mentor, rather than being the guy behind the curtains, just setting up automations. Now, what I want to say with this is that before I was holding on to a way of doing business that was so safe for me, but I could not impact as many people. I couldn't help as many clients because when you do done for you one-on-one services, I could only handle a handful of clients. Now I can help way more clients. And these clients are helping a lot more people. Not only that, I'm also empowering my clients. Instead of just doing things for them and they barely know what's happening and they will always need me to do things for them because they haven't learned how to do it. I'm empowering my clients to learn how to do things for themselves. What Bufo really did to me, it helped me to expand my gifts into others. I would hold myself back. I was safe in being the guy behind the curtain. But now I'm like, okay, it's time for me to be seen. It's time for me to be putting myself out because I know I can help way more people in many other ways. It's beautiful how when we are able to raise our consciousness to these spaces and with the support of plant medicine and other practices that we can do, usually the things that we fear of are the things that we know it's holding us back and they no longer serve us. But we're still holding back to those same things because it's our safe zone. So it's so good when we relinquish control and open up to what our highest potential is and show up to the highest potential. Even though We don't know what that will look like, but we trust and we follow the path step by step. We don't need to know all the way. We just need to take the next step. And knowing that we are being supported and we are being guided. Knowing that life happens for us and not to us. And this is how Bufo ruined my marketing agency, but it gave me something so much better. Because for something to be born, another thing has to die. A version of ourselves needs to go in order for a better version of ourselves to come. Now I'm living a way happier life. I'm more financially successful than I used to be back then. I'm living the life of my dreams. And that is just because I was able to let go and hold on to things that were not making me happy. And I trust there's a divine guidance to me, and I will follow those steps. And I will do what it takes for me to be at my highest potential and help people at my highest abilities. Because when you do that, everything unfolds. Now, the funny thing is that months later, about a year later, I came back to do another Bufo journey. And right after doing that journey, I found out that I was going to be a father. So life just kept getting better and better and better. The more journeys I do and the more work I do. But it's important to know that it's not only about doing those journeys, it's all about the integration. Because we can receive all these messages, we can get all the clarity that we want, but if we don't take action on those and we live by it day by day, nothing will really change. Maybe a little bit, but not as much as it could. So the integration process, the taking action is the most important thing. So if you are holding on to something that deep inside you know is not supporting you, it's time for you to open up what it could be. Your soul knows there's something better for you, so don't wait for your life to be challenging. Don't wait for you to go through struggles for you to decide to make a change. Make a change from a place of happiness, from a place of joy. And the easiest way that I see to make this transition is for almost everything that is not a full body yes, or what some people call a fuck yes, for me is a fuck no. If I'm meeting resistance into something, I know there's going to be a better path. Choose the path of least resistance. Choose the path that excites you. There's this formula that is choose the path of your highest excitement and act upon it to the best of your ability until you no longer can take it. So if you are in a limbo of doing this way or that way, this business or that business, this job, or starting your own business, choose the path of your highest excitement and take action to the best of your ability. And you will watch your life transform day by day. I hope this was helpful. I hope this brings you excitement, and I hope this brings you some clarity on where you need to go next. If you would like to stay in touch and know more from me, you can check in with me on my Instagram at Awaken with Iggy. You can subscribe to my channel. You can like this video. That would be a huge support for me to keep sharing this message. And also, I'm going to leave a free resource down below, which is a workbook for you to come up with a successful business idea. That is designed if you are a wellness or health professional or just an expert and you're looking to start a coaching business. This workbook is a little blueprint that I created and will help you to find the clarity onto it. So there you go. You can just download it for free below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.